right, welcome to Alaska Tri-Pacer. We look like we got some pretty decent weather today, so we're going to get out and try to enjoy it. I'll see you guys out there. All right, maybe you guys got us on my yeah, here it is, February the 6th at 10:30, and we're gonna try to get out and get a little flight time today. Check the winds. It looks like we're good up to about 3,500. Maybe we're tired. Got some folks coming in. We're gonna ease on up here to the runway. Everything's looking good on our old Piper Tri-Pacer today. We're gonna line up on runway 4, and I have no idea where we're going today. Let's see where we end up.
And Wasilla traffic around Wasilla Hotel, turning base, landing airport, Wasilla.
Wasilla traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is going to be holding short runway 4 Alpha. I got the helicopter in sight, and I got the inbound traffic in sight. Wasilla traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is going to be lining up on runway 4. So. Wasilla traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is going to be departing runway 4, Wasilla. Alright, here we go.
Papa is 2 mile final, RNAV 4, full stop, Wasilla.
Everything's in the green. We are getting that airspeed up. 60, we'll start pulling back. Yeah, right out, ready. We are airborne. Get that speed up. There we go. Get her done. Whoa. Still bump right here. Oh, there we go. Out. Huh. Wasilla traffic 27 Papa turning right crosswind 404 Wasilla. Put in our
traffic, alright, 2 mile final. So traffic system for 530 Papa, we're inside the 2 mile final. Wasilla.
I put in a lot of right rudder today. Wasilla traffic, Tri-Pacer 27 Papa is going to be departing pattern, heading out over toward the A-class Wasilla. I pulled the power cord out of the GoPro there.
Willow traffic Cessna 1 Delta turning final for 13 Willow.
I know probably didn't catch, I don't even know if we got the takeoff or not, but either way, we were just out poking around. It's got some winds up here. I'm at 2,300 feet. I don't want to get too far up because Wendy was saying the higher up you go, the worse it's going to get. So we're just out kind of poking around. A little low flight. But
Downwind 04 Wasilla.
most people up here would consider it low, but I kind of did. But yeah, what I was saying earlier is we're heading back out toward Denali again. This is kind of like my go-to area because you can see the land's pretty flat out here. I got mountains surrounding me. Even in anywhere I go around here, I got freaking mountains completely surrounding me. That's why they refer to this place as the Mat-Su Valley. It's just one gigantic valley that is completely surrounded. And so anytime you head toward Anchorage, what I was saying was you got mountains and you have to stay on those mountains. Everything You have to stay, when you're heading south, you got to stay to the left side of the highway because everything on the right belongs to the military. They don't like you flying over their airspace. They get upset about that. So you have to stay on the left side of the highway, and the only thing on the left side of the highway is mountains. So you have legit, you're flying right next to the mountain.
55169, 6 miles out on the practice RNAV4.
All the way until you get past, once you get past Anchorage, then it gets a little better. Kind of opens up a little bit, but yeah, beyond that, it's just mountain. So, and out here, it's just kind of open, kind of wide open. Even though we got the mountains, it's pretty good distance till you get to Denali up there and stuff. So I can go this way and get a good little flight in, and you know, like I said, on some of my other videos, it's just relaxing for me. As long as I ain't up here, like, fighting for my life, you know? And it gets like that sometimes, too. And when it does, I usually go home. But right now, it's pretty tolerable up here. I don't mind it right now. I tell you, I watched some of these videos.
Traffic says the 551 is not clearly active.
They, put me to sleep, so even if you don't watch the video, put it on. It'll put you to sleep. It's kind of boring.
Still traffic, Skyhawk 983, 6 miles to the west, inbound for runway 4, 2200.
Our weather up here this winter so far has been insane. So we actually broke a record for the amount of snow we got in January. We got almost 40 inches of snow just in January. However, we're also broke the record for the warmest January ever. Day before yesterday, no, it was yesterday actually. Yesterday when I was coming home from work, it was 44 degrees. Of course, I know we're in February now, but we had several days in January like that too. Is unreal, like insane that it does that. It's like I think our average temperature up here during that time frame is usually in the teens, and yeah, we were in the mid to upper 40s. But that's what's been so weird about it. Like it snows like crazy, and then it melts, and that's kind of unusual. Granted, we still got some snow on the ground, but like right now, everything's really slushy. The lakes, which are usually extremely frozen, are, I wouldn't trust them. I know some of these guys out here in these Super Cubs are still going out here, but I'll be damned. I'm not going to do it. Some people will do, though. And, but the conditions that people are look for up here, you know, like for ski flying and snowmobiling and all that nonsense, hasn't been very good this year so far. And last year wasn't as warm, but we didn't get a whole lot of snow last year. It was another unusual year. The first 2 years I was here, it was freaking cold and snowy, and it's pretty intense sometimes. But again, this year has not been bad at all. So my RPM gauge, they put a new RPM gauge in. I think they put it in when they installed the new cylinders on this airplane. And right now we are about to turn over to 700 hours on this RPM gauge, which I think will put this engine at somewhere around 2,600, something like that. 2,500, 2,600 hours. So traffic, 903, short final, runway 4, we're going to be a touch and go. So I was reading an article, can't think of the company's name right now, but they do, I guess like maintenance systems for you, help monitor your engine, but they said they don't believe in the TBO stuff. They're more of, they service the plane as needed, and they were talking about a group, a flight club that had a Cessna that was approaching TVO, and they wanted to get the airplane, get the engine rebuilt in it because of the time. And the guy was telling them, he's like, well, why? You know, is there anything wrong with the engine? Is it doing anything wrong? And they're like, no, it's actually running really good. And he said, well, leave it alone. He said, get on our maintenance system here, and you know, we will work with one of your groups out there. And they ended up, just by doing maintenance as needed, they ended up getting 5,000 hours out of that engine before they had to rebuild it. And even then, they said when they broke it down, all of the internals were in excellent condition. So they literally did it at that point just because they were starting to get scared. They said it was starting to get a little hard to start sometimes, running a little rich, and it was burning oil, which I guess Lycoming says you can burn up to 2 quarts, I forget, 2 quarts every 20 hours or something like that. But it's a pretty insane amount that these aircraft are allowed to burn. But yeah, they got 5,000 hours out of 0320 just by doing regular maintenance on it, and just, you know, watching the aircraft and maintaining it.
Traffic 983 is right now with runway 4.
But you know, the FAA kind of frowns on that kind of stuff, but I might. I'll be honest with you, $30,000 to $40,000 for a replacement engine, a rebuilt engine on this plane is insane. Of course, you know, if I keep the plane, I'll eventually have to overhaul the engine, but I don't see no reason to do it if it don't need it. Maybe you guys have some different opinions. If you do, by all means, shoot them to me. I've heard several people say that. No point fixing something that's not broken. And my bank account kind of agrees with that. I love flying through these mountains and stuff in the summertime when the weather's nice, man. God, the views are insane. Nobody around you for miles and miles and miles and miles. And just the most beautiful places you'll ever see in your life. It's insane up here how gorgeous the place is. And, you know, like everybody says, oh, the winters. They're not horrible, especially where we're at. There's places down on the Aleutian Islands and Kodiak Island, they say. It hardly ever snows down there. Now, they do get a lot of wind down there. And, of course, it's very seismically and volcanically active down there. There's a couple volcanoes down there that are pretty active. There's a volcano, I guess, I think about 75, 80 miles south of Anchorage that was acting up last summer. But, you know, to me, it's a small price to pay. I think the one thing that messes with me a little bit up here is in the wintertime, you know, you get those cycles where it stays dark a lot, especially during the winter solstice. It gets, you get down to where you only got a few hours of sunlight. And even then, it's not much, dude. It don't get very sunny. And then in the summertime, you get dang near 20, I'd say close to 19, 20 hours of sunlight during the summer solstice. And that will mess with you too, because like, you get this, I don't know, man, it's like you don't want to go to bed. You want to stay up. You don't get tired because the sun doesn't go down. And it's really hard to explain, but it's true. Like, that's why this place is so active in the summertime. People They almost kind of hibernate in the wintertime. Of course, everybody goes to work and stuff, but some people, you know, they get out and play in the snow and stuff, but sometimes it's just too doggone cold to be out here. And, but man, the summer times, holy smokes, this place is awesome. Beautiful place in summer. And that's the bad thing about up here, you know, you can get, like, as this airplane, get comfortable and stuff, and then, in the wintertime, but, you know, if you get in a situation and you have to set her down somewhere, you better be prepared for that, because you won't last long. You won't last long at all. Because regardless of how beautiful this place is, it's extremely deadly too. Very deadly place. Kind of neat in the winter time, because the sun doesn't get much, you know, above the horizon up here. And Denali's so freaking tall, like everything at the base of Denali will be dark, but the Denali itself will be glowing. Like, it's almost like a piece of the moon fell down and is just sitting on the ground. Because the sun, you know, obviously the sunlight's still hitting the top of that mountain, but everything underneath it is dark. It's pretty cool. I gotta get my Merlin finished up, get some floats on it. There's a person down in Seward that's got a set that would work perfectly, I think. They want $7,000 for the damn floats, and I'm like, which, don't get me wrong, floats are expensive, very, very expensive. But when you only pay $3,000 for the airplane, it's hard to purchase floats for $7,000 to put on it. Now, I don't know if anybody watched that other video that I put on, but what I'm trying to do, and it may not be very smart, I'm just trying to do it though, is I bought that little airplane. It was sitting on the airfield out in Palmer, and semi-abandoned. It hadn't been flown in a long time. I called the dude that owned it, looked him up by his tail number on the airplane, got up with him, and he said he couldn't fly it no more, didn't want to fly it no more. And they were either going to try to sell it or they were going to donate it to the high school, but they said none of the schools were interested in rebuilding it. So I was like, well, what do you want for it, you know? And he's like, well, I'll take $10,000 for it. And I'm like, yeah, no, can't do that. He said, well, what can you do? I said, well, I'll just be honest with you. I ain't trying to lowball you. I've got $3,000 I can give you for it, and that's it. That's all I got. And he's like, well, you just bought yourself an airplane. I said, word? So anyways, I went and picked it up, took the wings off of it, and I had a tow truck bring it to my house. And I've been piddling with it here and there, and it's actually repainted it. And I've been doing this just as cheap as I possibly can. So I'm cutting every corner that I can cut, and the plane still be, you know, safe. Of course, I'll have to get an inspection on it anyway. And for instance, one of the things I've done, instead of paying, you know, $3,000 for materials to get a paint job on this thing, I just painted it with some latex house paint, and it, you know, it don't look bad. And I did order a new set of landing gear for it, because one of the right leg was, one of the down tubes was broken. So I got up with the folks, one of the guys that used to work at the factory that built them things, and he built me a whole set of landing gear. He charged me $400 in shipping from Canada, because that's where he lives now. And it's like, well, shit, you can't buy any kind of other landing gear for $400. So I went ahead and let him build me a new set. You know, just piecing parts together. I've been buying some used parts from folks, you know, for instance, my brake system, it had a single puck Matco brake system on it, and I actually ended up buying, a guy had another single puck brake system, on old Rands that he had, and he took them off. But it's exactly the same ones I got. So I ordered, when we built the landing gear, we beefed it up a little bit. So we went from, I forget, like a 5/8 to a 3/4 inch axle and all that stuff. So we had to change, the hubs and the axles, but I'm still got I took the single puck systems and I got a new bracket and I made it a double puck system. We're gonna put bigger tires on it. And I jacked it up 6 inches, so the landing gear is 6 inches taller than it was before that. And it's got a Continental C85 engine on it that runs good. I took it, kind of pulled parts of it off, cleaned everything, and and got everything reconditioned, I guess you'd say. I didn't get stupid. I didn't spend no money on it. I just cleaned everything out. I did have to buy a new starter. I think that was like $300 because I didn't need the starter. I needed the gear that was on the inside of the starter that engaged the engine, because the one that was on there had some. The gear had a couple broken teeth, so I did replace that. And but yeah, long story short, like, I don't have a whole lot in that little airplane. Probably less than $5 grand right now. I bought a bunch of fabric and stuff in an auction. So I had to take the way this guy built this, which I don't understand it, but my stupid end, I just put it back together the way it was. But he, when he put the wing tanks in for fuel, he just covered them with fabric. So there was no access to them, and I was like, I had to get in there, change all of the hoses and stuff, so I had to cut the fabric anyway, and it was, the top of the fabric had been exposed to the sun quite a bit, and so I just stripped off the old fabric on top of the wing. The bottom fabric was good, so I just left it on there, and I recovered the top of the wing, and just like they did, before, and used the polyfiber system. Everything was fine. And repainted it, recovered it, replaced all the fuel lines, and resealed the tanks and all that nonsense. And that didn't cost me hardly anything, because the fabric I actually purchased at an auction. I think I got the fabric and a bunch of other crap, and it was like $150 for all of it. A bunch of seat frames and stuff that goes to a Piper, which I have no use for right now. But I got them. If anybody needs them, let me know. A couple old seats and stuff. And but yeah, the story, regardless, that's how I'm fixing this thing up. I bought a transponder for it, which I haven't put in yet. A nice one. It's the same one that's in this plane. Gave $20 for it. It actually looks better than this one does. But somebody was upgrading their panel up here. Of course, they didn't have any use for it anymore, so they sold it to me for $20. So, and I got some bush wheels for it. They're used. They're in doggone decent shape. They're obviously not new. But I paid, I got $300 in those. I actually bought 2 sets of them. Paid $700 for both of them. I traded a set for a pair of Aero 2000 skis, which when we do the conversion on this airplane, I'll be able to use those skis on this plane. Which that was an excellent deal, because the skis are in really good shape. They could probably use some paint, otherwise they're quite good shape. But yeah, that's the goal, man, just to make it look nice and get it flying again. I think it'll be a great little airplane. They say they're great performers. They are, it's essentially, I don't know, like an early kit box. The frame, from my understanding, is actually a little beefier than the old kit boxes were. I don't know about today's kit boxes, but it's got the same dimensions almost exactly as the kit box. But this one, and it was originally built with a 582 Rotax engine. They can fly on a 503 engine. They're a little sluggish from my understanding. But the owner, the guy that originally built the plane, I think he had two 582Cs up on him, so he's like, screw this, and he put the Continental in there. I don't blame him. Much more reliable engine. So, and it's got like right at 1,000 hours on the engine. Like I said, I did clean it out a little bit. I hooked the battery up to it one day and it cranked right up. My goal was to have it flying by May. And I'm pretty confident we're going to meet that goal, if not exceed the goal. That's a cool little airplane though. I'm kind of excited about it. Summertime gets really congested. It's almost like they almost need a dadgum air traffic controller up here. Because we got Willow Airport, Palmer Airport, Wasilla, Birchwood. That's just in this little area. Big Lake. Those are pretty decent sized little airports, and that's not including, you got Wolf Lake over there. That's not including all the private airstrips that are out here. Those are all, with the exception of Wolf Lake. Wolf Lake's actually considered a private airstrip, but it's like a community over there. It's a big airstrip. But man, there's just airports everywhere out here. This is freaking, it gets crazy out here. People all over the place, especially you get a really nice day, summertime, people all over the dang place. But I get back out in Tennessee, I think I'm going to kind of get into some of these ultralights or what, super lightweight or super, yeah, I can't even think. The light sports, you know, the really light sports. Like one plane I really want is this, the Fisher Koala, because I'll buy one that's already built. No way in hell I'm going to pay what they're asking for plans and materials. It's ridiculous. But you're talking about an airplane. It's made out of wood, and not like big wood. This is little strips of wood. Some of it not much bigger than popsicle sticks. Super strong airplane and excellent little plane once it gets built. But you know, the people that bought that company, you used to be able to buy the plans for a couple $100, and just for the plans, no materials, just the plans right now are like $3,000, and I'm like, what the hell are they thinking? And if you get the kit, where you know where they provide all the materials, and this does not include an engine, but if you get the kit is $13,000. And the problem with that is, if you buy the kit and you build the plane, if you do an exceptionally good job building the plane, you're not going to get no more than $10,000 out of that plane. That's for a brand new Fisher Koala flying with a Rotax 503 on it. And it baffles me why that company did that. Because Fisher sold out, and some guy in Canada bought it, and he's just, I don't know, his business plan does not seem to be doing very well. I know he gets a lot of complaints, but he insists on not lowering his prices on anything. And that used to be one of the most beloved ultralights. And it, because you can literally build that airplane in it, and it's a fully enclosed plane, just like this one is, single seat, but you can build that plane, and it will meet Part 103 requirements for an ultralight. And it looks it looks like a J3 Cub, just a little smaller. They say they're super strong, like they just they're really good little airplanes, ultralight airplanes. And but this is, I don't think this is a good place to be flying that kind of airplane. Even the Challenger, like I said, you know, you really got to be careful when you take off in that thing. It don't take long, you will find yourself in some trouble. It's best just to stay pretty low on that one. I think the highest I've gotten it up to probably 4,500 feet flying that airplane. Super clear day. There was no wind. It was great but most of the time I couldn't even take off of that plane because it was just too shitty out here. The weather is just too unpredictable. The winds, especially the winds. But man, when you do get to fly, it's a lot of fun. There you go, little Bobby. I figured it was right here. I drop a little altitude. I'm getting a little higher than I wanted to be. Wasilla Airport there to my
Runway 22 was off.
Ports are requested. Contact Palmer Radio on 123.6 for traffic advisories. Advise on initial contact. You have Delta. Palmer Airport information Delta time 2039 Zulu. Wind light variable. Visibility 10. Skies clear below 12,000. Temperature 1, dew point -5, altimeter 2964, favored runway 34.
So winds are light and variable, which is code for turbulent, which we're already feeling that. Palmer Radio, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is about 6 miles to the southwest, inbound runway 34 with Delta Palmer.
Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa, Palmer Radio, welcome in, traffic will be 2 aircraft, close traffic runway 34.
Palmer traffic, 0 Hotel, left crosswind for 34, Palmer.
Palmer traffic Cessna 01 Juliet, left base runway 34, Palmer traffic.
Down to 1600. One turn across.
Palmer traffic, 0 Hotel on downwind for 34, Palmer.
Woo! No. Dusty here.
Palmer traffic, 0 Hotel departing to the southwest, off the downwind to about midfield. Final call, Palmer.
Palmer traffic Cessna 01 Juliet, coming the final approach runway 34, Palmer traffic.
Palmer traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa is going to be turning to the downwind on runway 34 before stop. Palmer. Palmer traffic, Tri-Pacer 2327 Papa, base for 34, Palmer.
Palmer traffic Cessna 01 Juliet, left downwind runway 34, Palmer traffic.
Palmer traffic 27 Papa, short final is 34, Palmer.
Palmer Radio, Skyx 782, Sierra November, 90 southwest on the RNAV Alpha with information Delta requesting advisory.
Cessna 782, Sierra November, Palmer Radio, welcome back in. Traffic, we 2 aircraft, close traffic 34, have a trap pager 7 west and field, about 4 or 5 minutes, you bound for 34 as well.
Copy traffic to Sierra November.
Palmer traffic, Cessna 01 Juliet, Jordan's level base, runway 34, Palmer traffic.
Palmer traffic, Tripacer 27 Papa is going to be clear 34 Bravo.